Welcome to the Marketing Smarts live show by MarketingProfs and the Marketing Smarts podcast, where we dive into together as a community, B2B news, resources, valuable guest content, and much more each and every week. If you're a B2B marketer looking for a place to learn, keep up to date, and have some fun along the way, well, grab a beverage, a notepad, or at least some style of writing utensil, and welcome to the show. Hello to all my Marketing Smarts live viewers today. I'm super excited to bring you episode 57 of the Marketing Smarts live show. This week's topic is all about B2B branding, stories, social efforts, and disruptive innovation. So if you're ready to get your learn on, buckle up and let's get ready to rock and roll. I swear I do need like a guitar sound, like ring. I don't know, but some type of like really. Anyway, I'm your boy George B. Thomas, speaker, trainer, catalyst, and host of this here show, the Marketing Smarts live show, as well as the Marketing Smarts podcast, found on your favorite podcast app. Our guest clips today are brought to you by none other than David Aaker. David Aaker is the vice chairman of Profit and professor emeritus of marketing strategy at the University of California, Berkeley Haas School of Business. He is the winner of 5 career awards in contributions to the practice and science of marketing, including the Paul D. Converse Award, the Vijay Mahajan Award, and Buck Weaver Award, the Seth Foundation Medal, and being named the NYAMA Marketing Hall of Fame. Holy crap, David, crushing it. He has published 100 plus articles and 18 books that have sold over 1 million copies and have been translated into 18 languages, including strategic market management, building strong brands, building leadership with co-author Eric. I don't know, Eric, sorry. Brand portfolio strategy, brand relevance, Aaker on branding, creating signature stories, and others. He blogs regularly at davidaaker.com. Now, remember, the clips of David Aaker today are pulled from the full Marketing Smarts podcast episode. And if you want to listen to the full interview with David Aaker and myself, make sure to tune in to the Marketing Smarts podcast. Link to the full show will be in the description below after the live show ends. That's right, all the right links in all the right places at just the right time for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in this episode, again, I'm talking with David Aaker about B2B branding, stories, social efforts, and disruptive innovation. In this clip, I wanted to ask David, when thinking about B2B brands and brand building, what is something that we need to know or something that has worked for all of time? So I asked David, why is brand important and what should every B2B marketer know or think about when building a B2B brand? Tim, this is what he shared.
It's because it's literally, with some rare exceptions, it is the only way to grow, the only way. You know, I think the most robust empirical law that we have in all of marketing, if you go back a whole century of research and observation about marketing, the one empirical law is that we know what causes a new product to succeed. And you know what that is? It's being different. And there's all kinds of studies. I mean, dozens and dozens of incredible studies on new products and what makes them successful. It's being different. Because if they're different, they're easy. People listen to their information and they buy them and they try them. If they're not different, they ignore them, and that really is some support for the idea that if you want to grow, my brand is better than your brand doesn't make it. It doesn't create growth. It just doesn't. And what does create growth is to create new must-haves, defining new subcategories.
Are you playing the we're better game or the we're different game? Have you listed out every way you are different, your organization, your people? Are you leveraging that for your brand messaging and your future growth? Are you creating your own subcategory or category in that difference that you have? Hey, put the answer to that in the chat pane or let me know on X using the hashtag MPB2B. And of course, tag me using @GeorgeB.Thomas. Now, we'll get back to David and his thoughts on B2B branding, stories, and all of that good stuff. But first, I have to ask, are you part of the MarketingProfs community? If not, become part of the MarketingProfs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. You won't regret the additional learning you're adding to your life. Now, it's time for one of my favorite sections in the B2B news, where we talk about B2B news or really important tips we find on the Google News tab related to you and your B2B business. This week, the title is, drumroll please, How B2B is Reaching New Heights of Creativity by Ian Darby. Now, emotional appeal packs a punch with business audiences, and marketers are investing in powerful creative campaigns that deliver. But will this continue in the era of optimization and automation? This year has been a real coming of age for B2B marketing. No longer dismissed as the forgotten siblings of consumer marketing, it has moved far beyond just a lower funnel marketing play. And standards of creativity are higher than ever before. The sharper focus on creativity is highlighted by the recent finding that creative strategy and execution is the most important skill in the B2B CMO role, according to the Global B2B Marketing Benchmark. This expertise is on the rise, with 46% more creative skills being added to the marketers' profiles in the past year. To read this article, check out the link below when the live show is over and keep learning more. All right, so let's get back to David Aaker and his Marketing Smarts podcast episode. In the second clip, I wanted to dive a bit deeper into this idea of B2B branding and what are the 2 or 3 things you need to make sure are in place for your organization. So I asked David, what do we need to have in place that equals future brand success? And here's what he had to teach us.
Well, I think that one thing, this particularly is true of startups, but it's true in general, and that is that if you have a disruptive innovation, you need to access branding talent and branding concepts and branding tools, because what happens is that the number one priority is to have people on your team that have the technology and the skills and the resources to come up with this disruptive idea and to make it happen. So that's the number one. And for a startup, the number 2 is to get money. But even within a business, the number 2 thing is to get organizational support for this. You've got to have a home in the organization. You got to have funding within the organization, and that's the number 2 job. And then everybody knows you need marketing. You need to have an advertising. You need a name. You need a tagline, and so on. But what you really need is a branding strategy, and you need branding talent that within the organization or outside the organization. You've got to be able to realize that is a indispensable part of your future success, and so I think that's really a problem that really isn't recognized, or even if it's recognized, they find it difficult to do that, and so most disruptive innovation programs lack upfront branding.
Lack upfront branding. Do you have these things in place in your organization? Did you hear a couple that you may need, or even a few that might need to revisit? If so, take action and steer your brand into the future success that you, as the B2B marketer, seek. Now, we'll return to David in a few minutes, but first it's time for some dope B2B learnings from the vault of MarketingProfs articles. That's right, it's time to dig into the treasure trove of valuable information and pull out 2 pieces of gold to help you be a better B2B marketer. Article 1 this week is Problem Solved: How Much B2B Branding is Too Much by Claire Quaney. There's nothing we love more than solutions, top-notch insights from top-of-the-line experts that help solve common marketing problems. Here's this week's problem and expert solution. Problem: how much is too much? You want to incorporate your B2B brand message into every encounter with prospects and clients, but how do you do that without overdoing it? Well, read the article and find out. But article number 2 this week is Why B2B Branding is More Important Than Ever by Margaret Molly. Listen, for years, B2B brands invested more in sales and product than brand marketing. The conversational wisdom or conventional wisdom was that superior specs and personal relationships would win the day. Today, however, it's clear that strong branding is crucial in B2B, where it enhances the effectiveness of demand generation activities, lowers the cost of sales, and commands a price premium. Some of B2B branding's stems from evergreen truths. Emotion has always been a large driver in B2B purchases, more so than some people can imagine. The business buyer, after all, is still a human buyer, and there are detrimental career implications for selecting the wrong supplier for a critical business process. Who is that not true, or is that not true? Anyway, want to keep learning more? If so, check out the links in the description below after the live show ends to get access to both of those amazing Marketing Profs articles. All right, let's go back to David Aaker and dive back into this conversation of B2B branding, story, social efforts, and disruptive innovation. Next, in this third clip, I wanted to dive into David's brain and pull out some great B2B examples of really strong brands, as well as why he thinks they stand out above the rest. So I asked David who is crushing it when it comes to B2B branding and why they stand out from the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, here are David's thoughts.
Well, you look at Apple, you look at Microsoft, you look at Caterpillar, and Goldman Sachs, and all these B2B companies. What you see is really a solid use of branding, and we have things like a Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and Office and Apple iPod and iPhone and all of these are brands that or sub brands or endorsed brands that really stand for something. You say, what is the iPhone about? And people will give you 3 or 4 or 5 pillars that become well known, and it really is the foundation of their success. And these are dynamic, and they change over time, and they've handled the dynamic thing so well in all these cases. And so, but I think that the key thing you're looking for is relevance. And if you've really done it well, what you've done is to reduce or eliminate the relevance of competitors, and you've enhanced the relevance of your offering. And again, relevance is visibility and credibility.
Whoo! Visibility and credibility. Those are some powerhouse examples, by the way. But did you hear the critical words in that section? What do they stand for? They're pillars, if you will. Dynamic and change over time, those pillars do. Relevance is key. Enhance relevance of your brand. Relevance equals visibility, and visibility and relevance equals credibility. And holy crap, that is so important for so many businesses to understand. Now, we're going to get some words of wisdom from David here in a few minutes, but right now it's time to turn the spotlight on you, the Marketing Profs community. Yep, time from the hashtag MP B2B community. We search far and wide in the hashtag MP B2B universe to find amazing information and conversations to bring to you, the masses. So first, make sure you're using the hashtag MPBBD, MP2B. And second, make sure you have fun and add value to the community along the way. Then we'll spotlight you or your crew on the show. This week, it's Jamie Shine, or at Jamie Shine, JAIMESHINE, marketer, writer, and tweet goes, or X. What is it? Is it a post now if it's not a tweet on Twitter? Anyway, words are hard. How can you utilize AI in your marketing efforts? Train it to understand how you think. Teach it your brand voice and explain the goals of the content you're creating. Give it examples so AI can do a better job for you. Hashtag AI marketing. Excellent session by at Drew Davis here at hashtag MP2B. But you need to check out the description and click that link to check out the post and read or learn more. And I love this because in the future, we will talk to Drew Davis about digital doppelgangers, and it's going to be awesome. Anyway, Marketing Smarts viewers, I have to ask, are you going to be next to get the spotlight? Remember, community, use the hashtag MP B2B on Facebook, LinkedIn, or X, and get the light shined on your awesomeness in the next episode or a future episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. Pro tip, it won't hurt if you tag me in your post as well. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and Twitter, Mr. George B. Thomas on Facebook. All right, let's kick it back to David Aaker and some words of wisdom around this topic of B2B branding, stories, social efforts, and disruptive innovation. Here is what Mr. David Aaker wanted to leave us with. Let's take a listen.
Well, my take, George, and it has been for some time, is to first my take was try to understand branding and how people should manage brands. I started off, what is brand equity? And it turns out to be relevance, image, and loyalty. And then I talked about how do you brand, how do you manage it, and that is really develop what are your brand pillars and how do you communicate them. But lately, these last four or so books I've done, what I've really focused on is to apply branding to strategic areas that have sort of ignored or underplayed branding. And so I brought branding to the problem of breaking through the clutter in the form of storytelling. Gave a branding slant to that. I gave a branding slant to disruptive innovation. I gave a branding slant to social programs and being effective there. And so that's sort of been my take.
Branding slant almost everywhere that organizations can be. Relevance, image, loyalty, managing that, building your pillars and communicating them, applying branding to strategic areas that it needs to be taken to. What's your take? Are you using and getting everything you can from your B2B brand? Nope. That's up to you, but for sure, let us know. Have you enjoyed today's journey? Let us know. Use the hashtag MPB2B on whatever platform you're joining us on. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Time flies when you're having fun. Head to that description below. Click on the link to the full Marketing Smarts podcast with David Aaker and keep on learning more about B2B branding, stories, social efforts, and disruptive innovation. Remember, these were just a few short clips from the original Marketing Smarts podcast interview. And if you got value from today's show, hit that like, better yet, share it with a friend, and keep learning more. Hit subscribe or watch additional MarketingProfs videos on your favorite social channel, or head over to YouTube, our YouTube channel, if you're not there yet. Or you can go tune into the original Marketing Smarts podcast episode on your favorite podcast app. While you're there, leave us a rating and review. It really helps. Anyway, don't forget to become part of the MarketingProfs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. And as always, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble B2B marketing human. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Smarts Live Show next week.